I grew up in Franklin, Ohio. When I was still small, my grandfather fractured his kneecap while at work at the factory. He didn't have much money saved up at the time, so he started living in Section 8 housing. It was all we could afford. They gave him Oxycontin for his injury, and he became addicted to it after he had healed. It started becoming more visible to me when I was 10 or so. It started to crush the pills up and snort them as a means to feel the effects faster. I was told that my room was where I should stay, but I could still hear it. I knew what was happening. He would get violent when he got sober from then on, condemning me for small mistakes, telling me I didn't deserve the food he made me. I couldn't eat anything he cooked because he always cooked it too long and burnt it. Then he would get high and his personality would switch. He would be kind and loving. He would forget his anger towards me. I remember that I believed that I had ruined his life. When I was 12, I remember he ran out of pills and he got more angry than usual. I remember confronting him on his addiction. He pushed my head against a wall in the hallway and he called me ungrateful. I started spending most of my time outside, going as far as to beg for food so they didn't have to go home. Some nights I would get sick from the cold, but that was better than facing what might be waiting for me in that house. I knew there were two probable outcomes. An old man nodded out on a sofa, or words that cut through me like glass. The winters were the hardest. I would hide in abandoned buildings, culling fire from toxic materials, styrofoam, insulation, rotten wood, stolen lighters. All I could afford. I still went to school during all of this. I was bullied a lot. I was short, I was frail and quiet. The first person that ever really considered me a friend was Casey. He seemed to care about things more than the other kids in junior high. We made a lot of dumb jokes together back then. Moved in with my mom when I was 13 or 14, but it's hard to remember a specific year. When I was 16, everything changed for me. I met a guy named John. Fell in love with him. He was the first person I ever loved romantically. John did heroin. He died in my arms. After he passed, I blamed myself. That's when the hallucinations started. I remember sitting with my friends. They were playing a Nintendo GameCube in a living room. I remember feeling this deep anxiety creep up my neck, like something was whispering behind me. I tried going upstairs and sleeping it off, but it didn't let me. I started to believe that my friends were making fun of the thoughts in my mind. Every subsequent thought was an effort to stand up for myself, just be diminished by their next comment. It felt so real, like they were speaking to me through the ground, through the walls. I was in a hospital for 2 months, but all I remember is sitting there, fighting them in my head, and then waking up in the hospital. I had apparently confronted them, which naturally led to worry, and then led to an ambulance. Well, the next few years, I spent most of the time looking for ways to kill myself. Started with taking huge doses of LSD and cutting my arm in half down the middle. I still have a scar, and I wish I didn't. After that, I started doing heroin. First by smoking, then later by injecting. Never stole from anyone I knew during this addiction, only from bigger businesses. I just didn't want to remember who I was. Eventually graduated from high school with a subpar grade. After graduating, all I wanted to do was live a normal life, but we all know it didn't end up that way. I ended up traveling by freight trains, hitchhiking any way I could. I just wanted to see the West Coast, falsely believing it held my salvation. Thought if I could get away from home, that I could get away from myself. It always caught up back with me. It still does now and then. And a lot of my memories are fragmented. have suffered brain damage from streetlights and physical abuse as a child. I got sober off of drugs when I was 19 on a moving freight train in Arizona on my way to California in the middle of a desert. I remember reaching the beach in San Diego and throwing my last sharp in a trash bin along the sand line after a harrowing 2 weeks of convulsions, vomiting, and mental anguish. That night I put my tent on the beach and I fell asleep pretty quickly. I still remember getting beat up by police the next morning. I still remember watching them tear my tent to pieces and then shoving those pieces into a small trash can in front of me. I met a person, fell in love for 3 years, then fell out of love, left and traveled to Washington State. More trains, more hitchhiking, more walking. Landed in Olympia. I was 22, almost 23, fell in love again. 2 years passed. And then my father died. It made me lose my mind again. I ruined my relationship and I left. I started living with an old friend I had met previously at a folk punk festival in Indiana in 2016. He quickly became a best friend to me after catching up for a few months. After a year of living in a rundown house in a swamp with him, he overdosed and he died. I was 25 and he wasn't much older than me. When the cops showed up to the house, it ended up taking them 6 hours to take his body away. They made jokes about him in front of me for almost all of these 6 hours. It still wasn't the first time I saw a dead body. But still, I could barely hold on to my sanity. I met someone new after playing a show downtown a few months later. We talked all night, and I knew I loved him immediately. It was a new feeling, more intense than I can interpret or explain. I've never clicked with anyone like that before. Over the next few years, something started to happen to me. I became convinced that God or nature, or whatever you want to call it, was talking to me. That it had a great plan for me. That it could speak through me to others and from others to me. That it was in everything. And that I could never escape it. This scared my partner, understandably. After I turned 27, I lost my mind again, got deathly ill, and left home on a whim to try and get treatment for a life-threatening health condition. I still can't remember exactly why he left.